GM fam, we are live with Vibe Vibes podcast where we talk about NFTs with your lads. Myself, Soul Investor, and soon enough Zircon. He'll be coming here soon. We're gonna be talking about the value, the drama, and the vibes. And today we have a special guest with us, Shy Ones Project. Shy Ones with our other special guest. We got Spizzie here who'll be talking about the project, and we can't wait. Spizzie, what's up? Welcome aboard.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me on. I'm really excited to have our conversation today.
Yeah, for sure. No problem. So talk to us, guy. How did you get into this space? And how
Yeah.
how just yeah, just go for it.
Yeah. So I started with like cryptocurrencies back in 2018. I feel like a lot of people did back then too. Not quite as early as 2016, but a little earlier than some other people might have been. And then I got into NFTs in 2021 when the resurgence started happening. Because I feel like I remember there was like a bear market 2019, and then NFTs came back 2021 in like the summer. And then so I'd been in NFTs for a little bit now, starting on Ethereum and then going to Tezos and then Solana. I actually started collecting 101 art as my first NFTs, not really generative projects or anything like that. But then I started working professionally for the NFT space, like Web3 in general, in the early summer of 2022, because I realized like there's a lot of really cool stuff going on with like blockchain technologies and NFTs and the way that people could, I guess, have like a digital identity that really personified them through their NFTs. And then I've been in love with the space ever since.
I like how you said you went directly towards one of one art. I've really never heard
Yeah.
that. It's usually degen NFTs, which how I started.
Mhm.
I went for a derivative, horrible. Um, but yeah, like one on one, like how that happened.
I've always been really interested in art, and then I was on Twitter, and then I kept seeing so many like phenomenal artists talking about their works and stuff, and like sharing it online, and then I like started like really getting more into collecting that type of NFT stuff. Because like for me before, I'm like 23 right now, and so I don't necessarily have the most income to collect fine art, like real fine art, right? And so like this was like kind of a way for me to start getting myself immersed in like the art scene, at a better price point, I guess.
Yeah. That's interesting because you're like very into the art more
Mhm.
than the money.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
for me,
actually,
for me, it's just that I like it. I like it. It's
yeah.
interesting, to meet someone like that who just went straight for that. Just
Yeah.
um,
Well, I think I saw a ton of value within the art scene. NFTs were really cool, especially because I thought it was like you could really just, connect with people from anywhere. Like that was my biggest point of trying to get into NFT art is because I met so many amazing artists that were also really amazing people in general. And so I fell in love with not only them as people, but also their artworks. But yeah,
right.
I yeah, but money is nice too. You gotta make money here and there. So I degen every once in a while.
Yeah, yeah. So after all that, like you kind of just focused on Solana. Like
Mhm.
what kind of like got you into that world?
So I mentioned a little bit ago, but I started on Ethereum, right? And I met an artist friend, Duke Plus One. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he's a phenomenal artist on Solana right now. He actually said he was moving to Solana. I was like, okay, I'll check out this Solana chain, see what it's about. And so I came along with him during that time, and then I met a bunch of other really amazing people and joined a couple of communities. They were more like art-centric boutique PFP communities, like the Mass Warriors. And then I just ended up staying because of the people that I've met. Like I've met a lot of the people from Solana in real life events, like Breakpoint in Lisbon last year was like the first instance. And so since then I've just been here.
Did did you meet Solana Legend in Lisbon?
I did not personally meet him now.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Because I was trying to figure out like I think that's how I found out about Shy Ones was from his
Oh,
tweet.
really? Yeah,
I believe so.
he's pretty good friends with, or he's worked before with one of our founders, Owner Boy. Owner Boy does like really good branding and stuff, and they've crossed paths before. And they're
Ah.
relatively good friends, I think.
Now, good transition. I mentioned Shy
Yeah.
Ones. So we got we go to here. and we have Shy Ones. How did this came about, and what what made you think of starting an NFT project on Solana with this?
Yeah, so Shy Ones actually was first conceptualized last year. So Shy Ones has been here for quite some time now. It was like 2022, around May, I think. Um, we were pushing a pretty big social presence too. But at that time, we realized that there were a lot of fundamental stuff about the team that we needed to change before we could really execute a project properly. And so we put everything on the back burner and ended up working on ourselves and what we were offering. And then now we're actually back this year to actually make it come to reality. We spent a lot of time cooking in the kitchen, getting stuff set up and getting things ready. But now we're confident in our ability to deliver. So, yeah.
Interesting. And then obviously we gotta talk about the art.
Yeah.
The art is different, man. I gotta tell you, it's completely different from everything else. One thing is they're facing from the left, and the other thing is like it's more like I would say like Picasso style. It's got a different effect
Yeah.
than your average like PFP. Like, what made you guys go for this type of look?
Yeah, so I mean, our art, the way we wanted to approach our art is that we kind of segmented it into two groups, one being our branding art and then one being our NFT art. Our branding art is kind of the more dark stylings that looks more drawn out, right? And I think that's because we wanted to make it set up so that anyone could really feel an affinity for the art and not have to be associated with Web3 or anything. Like if you saw the art for our branding side of stuff, you'd be like, oh, that looks really cool. I'm kind of interested in what they're making and what it's about. And then from our NFT side, we wanted to kind of be like simplistic, but also still like stand out. And so we wanted to do a little bit of a different approach compared to some of the NFT projects that we've seen in the space already. And so Owner Boy, our founder, ended up actually coming up with all of the artwork for our NFT stuff. And it's kind of his ode to maybe some projects that you might have seen on Ethereum, similar to there's one project that has kind of a similar feel to ours on Ethereum. It's different, but I can't think of the name of the project right now. But it's like bold lines, bold colors, but simplistic stylings. And we wanted to bring that to Solana too.
Okay.
So, how long have you been building this project?
This has been like probably a year in the making or so now.
Gotcha. And I also sorry, Phil. I think you just skipped it a little bit earlier. It's also in their Git book. You guys have this is something I've never seen before, so it really did catch my eye. But you guys have split the mint into several different phases rather than just doing it all at once. Sort of what's the rationale behind that?
Yeah, so I mean, for this, we wanted to set it up so that well, first off, we felt like so many projects were delivering on stuff or saying they would deliver on stuff, but then never actually deliver on it. And then for this approach, we wanted to add accountability to projects and including ourselves, right? So our vision for this is that by splitting it up, making it so that each mint phase is tied into an actionable and measurable event that's associated with one of our three core pillars, then people who would want to invest in us and be a holder of our community could see that we're actually delivering on each of these milestones and then make an informed decision that, oh, look, these guys are actually making promises, delivering on said promises, and I want to be a part of the community. And so they'd be more confident and more likely to hold because we're adding value to them through everything we're delivering.
Gotcha. No, it's a very interesting approach. Never seen it anywhere else. How does this affect rarity, though?
Affect what? Rarity?
Yeah.
So rarity is going to be, it's still going to be a 10K collection, right? At the end of the day, the only difference between each phase is that within the metadata, it's going to be stipulated that this is phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4. Rarity isn't going to be too much of a difference across the whole collection, but we'll be merging them at the end of the whole mint process. So yeah, but we will be adding more traits at each phase.
Now
makes sense.
Yeah.
Now he mentioned core pillars.
Yeah.
Core pillars. Can you talk us a little bit about like what core pillars are?
Yeah. So So for Shy Ones, we're kind of like a multifaceted creative studio, and we wanted to make it so that we were comprised of three core pillars that people could easily identify as being part of our group, right? It's a lot easier to segment this kind of stuff so people can have that like mental association for what we're doing, and three is always a good number to do that with. So for us, we ended up coming up with three core pillars. The first one being Shy Ones Venture Studio, where we will be incubating, creating, investing in promising projects. And for our first actual project, we're working on an in-house project and shipping that. It's going to be called Wizard's Wager. And it's actually, there's a trailer available for that on Twitter. I think it's our pinned one right now.
Okay.
And then our second core pillar is Shy One's events. Yeah, I'll let you play this first so we can see it.
Oh yeah, this Wizard with wagers,
Yeah.
a couple of books, and paper hand,
Yeah.
rock, or rock paper scissors. I mean,
Yeah, it's pretty simplistic, right? It's like a rock, paper, scissors wagering game, but I think that we add a little bit of an element through the aesthetic styling that's different from what we've seen in, casino and gambling games before.
okay.
Yeah.
So
that's our first venture studio project, Wizard's Wager, and that's one of our core pillars, right? So our second core
Okay.
pillar is going to be Shy One's events, and we wanted to really incorporate this because one of our founders is a DJ, and he knows a lot of other DJs and events agencies within Europe, actually. So we wanted to play into that strength. I mean, one of the biggest parts of like really an NFT community is that there are IRL events for people to kind of get together and like interact with one another, right? And like that's how I met so many of my friends from the NFT community side of things already. And so we really wanted to like embed that into our own mythos, into our own like ideology. And so Shy One's events is one of our core pillars, and we actually have an event that's already scheduled with guest performers already planned for September 1st, in tandem with the Berlin Hacker House.
Oh, and this is like Berlin, Germany. You guys talking about, not like Berlin, like Utah or something.
Yeah, Berlin, Germany for this one.
Nice.
It'll be our first event. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That Berlin is pretty sick with their raves. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it'll be pretty fun. We have a pretty stacked lineup that I'm excited to share about when we get closer to the event. But
Yeah. All right, and then here you got a more feature list. I got.
Yeah, these are actually the artists that will be performing at the event.
Oh, we don't know yet. Okay, they're blurred faces.
Yeah.
Although I can kind of see this guy.
You can kind of make it out. It's a little guessing game, right?
Yeah, and then we have pillar 3 as well.
Yep.
Right here. If you can give us a hint of what this is, Shy One's shop.
Yeah. So Shy One Shops kind of plays into another one of our strengths. We have a fashion designer on the team, actually, and she works as a consultant for some fashion houses in Europe. And so she'll be making our streetwear merch side of stuff. And we wanted to approach this from a two-pronged approach, whereby one side we create, Shy One's branded merch that really resonates with the NFT community. And then we wanted to create streetwear merch that anyone could really wear regardless of web affinity, right? So you don't have to be involved in the Web3 space to rock cool merchandise. It just has to look good. And so anyone can get attracted to it and then ask you, like, where'd you get this dope shirt? And then you can point them to, us.
Interesting. Okay. So there you go. The 3 pillars right here we got. Now we have Zircon. He came online. Zircon, what's up, man? How you doing?
So, sorry for the delay, guys.
How's it going, man?
Everything's good. I was just I came up and you were just talking about the mint phases. I actually about it yesterday. It's pretty much interesting. I really like that you are just, instead of going for a 10K right forward, like segmenting a little bit and giving value like in stages. I really like that. I think we've seen it before, but I'm interested to see how it plays, the actual phases. And it's pretty much interesting. That was one of the things that drive my attention yesterday when I was checking the project, because Phil told us about the Shy Ones last week. And I was like, oh, I think I've heard of them, but I didn't make my research yet.
Yeah. So like you probably like a little bit like so I got into your Discord
Mhm.
a long time ago actually, and I remember like the whole phase happened, and then like the name finally came up again. So like if it all makes sense right now and how this whole happened. Like you guys took your time to build things
Mhm.
out. You guys didn't want to rush it,
Yep.
and it seems like you guys are like like very confident now that you're ready to get this thing going.
Mhm.
So cool stuff, man. Now we also have a couple of other things here. You got the mint info here. You
Mhm.
got the fund allocations. Is this still like you got phase 1, phase 2 here of this portion here?
Yeah.
Can you explain to us a little bit on that?
Yeah, so we wanted to kind of set this up so that we could really cultivate a community. At the end of the day, like that's one of the strongest points of NFTs, right? Is that you're creating a community where people want to kind of reside and hang out with one another. And so for us, we wanted to take like a little bit more of a hands-on approach to kind of like selecting the people that we want in the community, or at least offering people the ability to come in based on them being interested in learning more about us. And so the way we've kind of set up the mint allocation is that we're having a little bit of a pre-sale amount allocated to some select groups at the price of 2.5 Sol. Public is going to be 3 Sol. Whitelist is going to be 3 Sol. We want to make it like the same relative, regardless of if you're able to get pre-sale, if you're able to get whitelist, if you're able to get public, whatever. It's just because you want to be a part of the community, you want to be a part of the project, and it kind of helps. I think that it disincentivizes dumping too, because you see a lot of people get pre-sales for, let's say, like 4 Sol, and then public is like 9 Sol. Like, what are the odds of the people selling for instantly, right? Probably much higher. So we want to make it like preset across.
Okay,
But yeah,
interesting stuff. Yeah, over.
And
Go for it, Zircon.
sorry, my bad. Are you guys going to be doing staking as well?
staking is something that we're considering. Right now, we're kind of thinking of our mint structure as a soft staking. There is a reward for people who mint at each phase and then hold through each phase. And so that's how we're kind of trying to approach it right now.
Oh, I think that's a much better approach. Having a
Yeah.
token is very complicated.
Yeah,
And
unnecessarily. Yeah.
yeah, and unnecessary as well. So why? So we've sort of gone through the core pillars and your intentions behind the mint. But how was all of this started? Why did you guys decide to create an NFT project?
Yeah, I mean, I think it kind of came together when like just a couple of our core team members like met for the first time, started chatting online, and realized that there were a lot of synergies between us. I mean, like for example, there's like a lot of like we have a team that's like really talented and they're really creative people, right? And there's a lot of stuff that they want to create, but we realize that it's often hard to create individually, and instead it's necessary to have a team of capable people that can kind of push your ideas and help create with you. And so we came to the conclusion that we wanted to, for a lack of a better term, build dope shit, right? And then from that grew the idea of making that stuff like sustainable and profitable as long-term businesses. So we want to like kind of imbue our own like creativity into like businesses that have like long leg room and like long runways, because we want to do this for a long time.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So what do you guys hope to sort of accomplish between the first mint and the second mint?
Yeah,
And then
I think
between like the second and third, et cetera, et cetera.
yeah, I think as each mint phase goes, we want to continuously build out our community. I think it's super interesting for the way we've structured the first mint, or the mint phases, because uh, during the first mint, we're kind of just giving a lot of information out and letting people kind of learn more about us, and then attracting them that way, right? Like we want to like. I'm not saying we don't want degens, like degens are necessary and we love degens, right? But we want people who are also educated or at least interested in learning more and a little bit different from the people who are just trying to flip. And so for our first mint phase, we want to attract those type of people who take the time to read our light paper, take the time to learn more about us, take the time to listen into like sessions like this, and then make an informed decision that they want to join the community. And then after that first mint phase, then we'll attract more people through our deliverables, and then go into mint phase 2, reward the people who are with us from the very beginning and build off of that through all the mint phases.
Yeah, it's kind of what is happening right now with the pre-sales, but instead of doing a pre-sale, you are just gonna mint 2.5K of the supply. But people that are gonna mint are most likely people that are gonna take the time to read what the project is about and not just mint it just because.
Yeah.
I get it.
100%. Yeah. I mean, a lot of the stuff that we're doing now is stuff that we can deliver on even without the mint funding, but the mint funding allows us to scale, right? I mean, like Wizards Wager, we have a demo, we have a team already working to get this set up as an actual game. We're working with lootex.gg as a Web3 toolings provider to make this a cross-chain game for our first venture studio project. We already have events booked out, guest performers planned, and then we're talking to suppliers to get our merch stuff ready too. Like this has been stuff that we've been planning in the long run, so we're happy to take time to actually create the community around our deliverables.
Understand. Now, the one thing is, so you were here from the beginning, 2021, 2022, 2023, and you've seen all these projects. You've seen the gods do their thing back in the day. You've seen Ty Robotics in 2021 do their thing, and then the gods kind of took over 2022. I would say, but maybe 2023, maybe a little bit of Clayno in there.
Yeah, Clayno's
and
great.
maybe a little bit of spice of Mad Lads.
Yeah.
But like going through all these different projects, is there a specific project that you've basically just like said like, oh, this is something that I really liked and like, like to look at as like, like how I want to grow?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think it'd be a combination of like DGods and then Claynosaurz. Because I mean, each project has their own faults and they have their own strengths. I love what Claynosaurz has been doing with their brand and pushing that beyond just Web3. Like anyone can have an affinity for a dinosaur that looks cute, right? Like your kids could love that. It makes sense, right?
My kids love it.
But then DGods has such a strong and like convicted community, and even though they don't necessarily, or they haven't delivered, at least to my perception, actual utility or use cases beyond just airdrops and stuff like that. And like I think combining is a strong idea. So I look. But yeah, because I mean, Frank is amazing. He's done something really cool where he's created like a real community of people who like to hang out with each other and are like doing all these events and like being like, themselves and in person. I mean, that's super cool. But yeah.
Yeah. So you're basically like, I guess you want to bring out some like community events to like grow, to grow the network effect, I guess.
Yeah.
And something like the gods.
Yeah, well, for what we want to do with our events is like, for our first event, it's going to be accessible for holders and partners, and it's going to be a public event. But in the future, we also want to have people who aren't interested necessarily in the Web3 side, but interested in good music and like fun events to attend these events, like where we can sell tickets at the door. People come in, they have a ticket, they get some free drink vouchers or something like that. Now they're in this event, now they're having fun, and then they see these posters and these like LCD displays of like NFT art and NFT projects like our own posted up, and they're like, what is this stuff? And then we sell merchandise at these events, and these merchandise is when you buy a hoodie, you get a medallion that has an NFC code, and you scan it, and then you get a free NFT claim because you went to this event, and you also have this shirt. And you join the community because you're interested in the vibes that you have and like the utility and the extra stuff that's out there.
Like what's in my mind right now is like, how like right now we have like a lot of the shy ones have masks on.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen like those like like those movies like with like those people with the masks, and like they go to like the events and like they're masked up whatever, and like they have their class of. Well, I don't know. I feel like are you gonna have masks? And then like, everyone's like covered up with the wine. Like,
I think that would be a pretty fun themed party or an event, actually. Maybe we have to set something up like that. We come in with a mask, like a masquerade party. That could be pretty cool.
Masquerade, that's what it is. Yeah.
One thing that's pretty awesome is that people who aren't builders or have never really looked into it, it's actually incredible how much effort and capital and resources you guys have put into the project already. Most people don't know. I mean, this, you said you've already basically set up almost everything, and a lot of people don't get how expensive that can be and how time consuming that can be. So, hey, kudos to you guys.
No, I appreciate it, man. I mean, I just want to attract the type of people that recognize that too, and then like help push out our brand and help it be more easily recognizable in the future. But yeah, it takes time. Like we're here for the long haul, so we're putting the work now, and we'll continue to put in the work. But appreciate you for that.
And shout out to Diego for giving us a comment on here with the shy ones. Make sure you join their Discord as well. In the Discord, give a shout out to the guys here. So good stuff, Diego. GM. Now, we're pretty much cutting out of time right now. But do you have anything else that you want to talk to us about the shy ones? You have like any last things to mention for the project?
Yeah, I mean, we're minting May 12th, 2,500 NFTs. There's a lot of information available for people in our Gitbook. You can find that in the link tree in our Twitter. If you have any questions and you want to chat with me personally, I'm like pretty much on the Discord 24/7. So hop on, ping me, let me know, and I'd be happy to answer any questions. But yeah.
Nice for sure. Well, first off, congratulations on starting this project, and we wish the best on the mint and that it goes well. And then we look forward on the future things that just shy ones will do.
Yeah, man. Now, I appreciate you guys so much.
Yeah, if you want to stick around, you can. We're just gonna go through some things in the NFT space. So the first thing is we have pretty much Mad Labs going to 1 million. I don't know if anyone's seen this, but it's kind of been insane. Like, I never thought this was gonna happen this fast, this quick, ever since we went through this whole bear market. But they're at 1 million sold right now. I am surprised, man. Like, what do you think? What do you think, Zircon?
I mean, we're talking bear market. This kind of milestones are from a bull market. We'll expect this from like people minting and just spending a lot of money on NFTs, and it's not the case. So I'm really surprised.
For sure. Now, Spizzie, were you able to mint one of these, or were you just watching from the background?
So I actually got whitelist and I minted, but I papered it at around like 50 sold, which is it's unfortunate. But I mean, it's super cool to see the amount of volume and interest that has come into the NFT scene on Solana from Mad Labs. I didn't expect it, so it's a happy surprise.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that's great for you because I had a whitelist, but I never put in my address on Discord because I don't go on Discord a lot. So like when it was mint day, I was trying to press the mint button, and then I found out like I didn't add the address or whatever. So it hurts me seeing this, but that was insane in a way. But check your Discord. Always check your Discord.
Moral of the story.
Pretty much. Now we also have ABC. They just came out of an announcement. This is a project in Solana. They did quite well for like 3 months through 6 months, and then they came out with Hate Swap. It seems like they are sending their troops to Bitcoin. Soul Investor, I mean, what do you say about this? Because I didn't see this coming, and I don't know how to use Bitcoin, or if this is just a portion of the ABCs. But do you see this as great news? A lot of people are bullish about this.
Sort of firstly, Mad Labs, they made $1 million through the mint. They made another $1 million through royalties in 7 days. It's great to see. In the grand scheme of what they're building, it's actually a small amount, believe it or not. But hey, great to them. They build cool products on Solana, so I'm excited to see what they do next. For ABC, I think they'll send a portion, probably a very small portion of the NFTs to Bitcoin. They've created Hate Swap on Solana. It really doesn't make sense for them to push the entire collection onto Bitcoin. But I'm the same boat as you. If I was moving my NFT to Bitcoin, I would have no idea how to do that. But it is interesting. I always like when projects do and projects doing new stuff. I think I'd be upset if it's the whole collection though.
Yeah, for me for sure. Like I probably would have sold my ABC if it was all going to Bitcoin. But the clickbait was is ABC going to Solana? I mean, going to Bitcoin. So maybe got some eyeballs, you know. But we'll see how this does, where it goes with ABC, and we'll move on to the next topic. Now we have something interesting that happened. We had some Angelo drama, some crypto Angelo drama. This is pretty much the talk of the show last week. It's not NFTs. It's usually just a drama on Twitter. This is something that I think Zircon talked about before. I think you blocked them, right?
I blocked him like 4 months ago. I just don't like him, his personification on Twitter. It's nothing personal with him. Now it's kind of personal because he did some really shady moves. But I just block him because I don't want to see that kind of stuff on my timeline. Nothing personal with Anglio.
Oh dang! Yeah, I mean,
I thought Zircon was going to go in harder.
I'm just starting.
so basically, so what happened was, Crypto Angelo, he did a raffle for his looks like his monkey, and within that raffle, you know, people came into to basically try to win. They bought a ticket or whatnot. And then he bought majority of the raffle ticket, and supposedly he won it because he had the majority. So would you say that's right or wrong, Soul Investor, for what he did, or is that just part of the game?
Okay, so I don't know the exact stats because I haven't looked into it too much. But when I was scrolling through Twitter, it seems like the speculation is he bought around 30 to 50% of the tickets, and the amount he walks away with after winning the NFT is maybe around, I think, 300 to 400 SOL or something like that. So he put himself in this win-win situation whereby, you know, either he was going to win his SMB back, or he was going, either he was going to sell his SMB and make 300 to 400 SOL, which is, you know, way above mid price, way above floor price. So he's still making a healthy profit. Or he wins his NFT and he still takes home the 300 to 400 SOL. So he put himself in this win-win situation at the expense of all of these people who bid on the raffles. And, you know, to me, this just isn't good sportsmanship. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it is gambling, and I really don't support this. This is horrible.
I mean, Spizzie, you don't have to have any comment here. This is just a Twitter drama. I know you're building an NFT project. You're probably being diplomatic with everybody.
I mean, I've definitely seen it though. I've seen this on Twitter, and I do have a slight opinion on it. I do think it's a little shady, right? I mean, like at the end of the day, if you're skewing it that much in your favor, where you're still making money, like regardless, and you might have the potential to win back your NFT, that's an unfair advantage on you, and it puts the people who enter the raffle at a disadvantage. And if it is true, then that is shady. But I don't know all the details.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I personally wouldn't do it just myself. It's just not, you know, if I'm gonna throw a giveaway, I throw a giveaway. That's something like I feel like it's not like, you know, just on the ethics side of things, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's part of the game. I don't know, but
yeah,
we have something else. Speaking about law, we have something I personally think is really cool. I don't think you guys are. I don't know if you guys are involved in this kind of stuff, but there's this person named Ariel Givner. Maybe Spizzie, you heard of her? She does a lot of things with NFT projects, but she is basically creating. And I don't know if she's creating, but this person Zen Zero says cooking up something fun for Givner Law. Not all NFTs are the same. Zenmo in collaboration with Zenmo official Givner Law NFT drop.
Interesting.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is gonna be great because, like, you know, you got this person Ariel. She's like a lawyer, you know, big dog in that world, and she came here in the NFT space, doing her thing. She bought a monkey, and she's helped a lot of people. She even helped out actually with the whole Monkey DAO acquisition, from what I've heard. So, I mean, like, what do you think, Spizzie, of this? And would you utilize this if this has something to do with law and NFT projects? Buy into this?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen Zenon before as an artist too. He's a really talented artist, and he's like pretty renowned within the NFT art scene, I think. And then Ariel, I've seen her from time to time on social media, chatting in spaces and stuff. And she seems really knowledgeable, especially from the law side of stuff. And she has helped a lot of people. I think I would just support the project because of those two alone. I don't really know what type of utility she'd be able to provide for collectors of her NFT. Like, imagine if it was like a boutique NFT selection where she consults with you as a holder or something. If you have like law questions, maybe that could be cool. But I'm assuming it's a large generative collection, so I don't really know what the offerings would be for that. But I think she's coming with a good approach, leveraging her influencer, like herself as an influencer, because that's what I've kind of noticed with a lot of the major projects that do really well. Like, let's say Frank D Gods, Armani X NFT or Backpack. Each project that has like that potential to really rise has an influencer founder who has like an advocation for it. So I think it could do really well, but I don't really know what it would be.
I will say, I think I've seen her on a few spaces. I think I've seen her on a few easy spaces actually. And if she is who I think she is, because whenever there's some sort of big drama in the space, I think she hops on spaces and she's very, very knowledgeable. She drops her legal opinion, and it's always fascinating to listen to her. Might be getting it wrong here, but if she is who I think she is, she's well in touch with the space, and it would be interesting to see what she does. It's also super useful, her services, because the SEC has been cracking down on cryptos, and they're going to hit NFTs eventually. And if you've done anything shady within 5 years or something like that, you're in big trouble. So she's definitely a net positive to the space, and it's exciting to see what she does next.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, those are some good points from both of you guys. And if I could, if the price of the NFT is low enough, I'll do my support and I'll buy into it, and just to see this whole portion of law get into it. But it's more, if it's more than 10 SOL, I probably, I would love to support it through my voice, but I probably won't be able to buy it. But
did you sell your youths? Like, aren't you sitting on some capital?
I did sell some. But for these things, so I got a little bit of oogies here and there, but yeah, I mean, Zircon, there's something I think you do Twitch, you have your followers, like, and you're getting into the NFT space. I mean, even on that side of the world, like, like talking about projects, something like this, a person like this, like, to basically tell you, like, hey, what you can say and what you cannot say, as far as like, pricing and all this, like, or being too bullish on something, those types of things, like, like, it's good service, to know, like, to
I think it's needed
stuff, right?
Actually, because we're now talking about, like, in the ecosystem, there's mostly people that know what they're doing, but once the bull market starts, it floods with people that barely know how to swap crypto assets. So I think it's necessary to start building this kind of stuff right now, so it's ready for the bull market.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, a lot of things that are novel in the NFT space is technically illegal. Things like rev sharing, things like staking for tokens. Those staking for tokens things is a little bit in a gray area. Rev sharing is definitely illegal.
Yeah.
So I do think there's probably going to be a need for this, and it would be interesting to see where this goes next. There are only a few projects that focus on the legal side, Alpha Pharaohs being one of them, but they're few and far between.
Now, last but not least, we have is Claynosaurz. They are coming out with something within their actual community. The community teased out this thing called Spy Chickens, and it came from the Sardinas. And it seems like Claynosaurz is now making this actual a reality. These type of dinosaurs here, and I think overall, like, just how they basically came out with this idea from the community is just great. because it just shows that they really are listening to a community. I mean, Spizzie, you were talking about community earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, what would you say about this type of move from the Claynos?
Yeah, so I had the pleasure of meeting Cab Animation, one of the founders, in Breakpoint last year, Lisbon. We hung out for a little bit, and I actually picked up a sardine. I papered that for about 30 sol. But I think it's really cool to see that they're actually taking time to consider. I mean, like a lot of utility with these drops that they've been doing in their in-person events, right? I've seen so many pictures and videos of like a bunch of these NFT community members hanging out at these events that they put on, and it's like super cool to see like lines that actually form like down the block outside. I think they're doing it really well, and I think it shows a lot of like consideration from them as a team as well as a project. So it's really cool.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, I saw it from afar. I wasn't able to actually go to the events, but one day I'll go to it, and then hopefully we'll see you there as well.
Yeah, for
With
really
your
fun.
project.
Yes, sir.
So that is basically everything we have for this show. Once again, make sure you hit that like button. Comment below anything you guys want us to talk about. We go live Tuesdays and Thursdays around this time. We thank Shy Ones for coming on, talking about their project, and then giving some info on NFTs as well, and all that good stuff. Much love, guys, and peace.